So, Alan and Dwayne, thank you very much for coming. We're very good friends for, I would say, last 3 years. You guys are running arguably the most popular league in South Florida, non-sanctioned tournament league. Um, you have been, you had the pleasure to have players like James Ignatovich, Christian Alshon, J.W. Johnson, Will Howell, Jack Foster, Eric Constance, William Sobek, Anna Bright, Gabriel Tardio, Tyra Hurricane Black, and the list goes on. So I wanted to start it with just a little bit of introduction about yourself, how you get into the tournament. I know you also a battle manufacturer at the same time, so you're doing both, and we can speak on the both topics during this conversation today. I think one of the most important things is we're gonna dive more of a mental part of the tournament play,
Right.
how it differentiates itself from the recreational play, and I'll leave it up to you. So for a little introduction.
Right on. So I'm Alan. This is Dwayne. Obviously, PaddleTap Pickleball. We've been around for about 3 years. Dwayne and I met on the pickleball court about 3 years ago or so, right after COVID hit, and felt that we had an opportunity to create an environment around tournament play. We felt there was a need in the marketplace for that. At the same time, saw an opportunity to make some high-performance pickleball paddles to compete against some of the bigger brands. The tournaments have been successful. As you mentioned earlier, we've had some of the top-ranked players in the country play in our tournaments. In fact, many of our players started with us. Tyra Black started with us. Christian Alshon started his tournaments with us. Will Howell started tournaments with us before they came into the big professional realm of PPA or APP events. So we've had the pleasure of working with all those various different athletes and seeing them grow from, basically starting out as good players and then evolving into top ranked players in the world. So we're very grateful for that. We run tournaments about every 2 to 3 weeks in various different areas in South Florida. And that ranges anywhere from the 3.0 level player all the way up to the top level players that we mentioned earlier.
That makes total sense. I remember, I think we met at one of the Boca Raton APPs, and Anna Bright was playing her first 5-0 tournament in mixed doubles, and you mentioned to me, Ivan, look, this is going to be the future star.
I completely did. Yeah.
I said, how can you say that? How can you say that? And yeah, you obviously were right. So your scouting skills are
That's hysterical.
unbelievable.
That's hysterical.
It's just funny how you can are able to look into those talents and attract them for your tournaments. So talking about in generally your league, you obviously see a lot of people come and go, and some of them coming back to play probably every weekend. I don't know if you have many of the people who coming back. Myself, I'm coming back and playing again and again. Doesn't matter I win or lose. What do you think attracts people the most to spend their weekend as a competitive player, spending their time in the tournament play instead of hanging out with friends on the courts, having some recreational games? What do you think is the main differentiator?
Well, the one thing I think that's different about us is we do smaller tournaments. They are affordable tournaments. They are local tournaments, and they're at multiple locations throughout South Florida. So that does kind of give us a different audience each time. There are a couple players in each division that do follow each particular bracket. But I think being affordable, good competition, run very smoothly, a very good flow is key.
No, I agree. It's always positive. I remember even during my games, I hear always like, Ivan to the court number 4. No, Ivan, wrong court. Yeah, it's always fun. But speaking about the people itself, like, what do you think? Like, I agree with being affordable, but why do you think it attracts me? Why do I want to play competitively? I don't want to play recreationally. What's like the main differentiator, maybe?
I think it's a balance, right? So I think people look to play recreational play, but at the same time, they feel like they're playing well and they want to be competitive, whether it's rekindling some old things they had when they were playing sports when they were younger.
Yep.
To give them an opportunity. Pickleball is kind of that equalizer, so to speak. I remember when I first started playing, I'm like, man, my hands are still good. My feet may not be able to move like they used to, or it might not be as quick as I used to be, but my hands are really good still. So I want to compete against that to feel how I kind of am against other competitors, right? Where am I in the scale of things? And I had that competitive bug in my system ever since I was a little kid. I played lacrosse when I was younger and tennis. I've done most all recreational sports under the sun. But pickleball is kind of like that opportunity as we get older to still be able to compete at a decent level and be rewarded by that. And I think that's one of the best things about pickleball. I know when we talked about it, we met you, and you, all because of the sport of pickleball. Whether it's recreational play or competitive tournament play, there's a camaraderie about that we believe we provide a wonderful atmosphere for. And people have a super amounts of fun when they do it.
So it's kind of fulfilling their childhood dreams, you know.
A little
when,
bit,
There you
yeah.
go.
when they imagine themselves as the Roger Federer a little bit, you know, they're on the central court, the 10,000 people looking at them, winning. But yeah, in that case, it's their family who are cheering for them. Yeah, it makes total sense for me. So, kind of expanding this discussion into more, and this is one of the main goals of this conversation, right? To dive deeper into the mental side of amateur sport, mental side of professional sports, and how mentality basically affects pickleball players. What do you think what's the difference in mental shift from recreational play in the tournament play? Do you think maybe people allow them to slack more in recreational play? They do some shots they don't usually go for in tournament play? Are they feeling more stiff in the tournaments, like they're not themselves? What's that mental shift that you commonly see?
Yeah, I think in the rec play, it's more of a social element. So you're trying to socialize with a bunch of different people. I usually travel to different parks from Vero Beach all the way down to Bamford or Plantation and just play at different parks to kind of get the community together and expand our brand, which helps out with the tournaments and brand awareness.
How many locations do you have right now?
That we're doing our tournaments or traveling to?
Yes, I mean, I think it's 4 locations, no? Am I wrong?
No, we've been, I think, a total of 8.
Yeah, we're at
8 to
8 different
10
locations right now.
at this point.
A couple other in the works, and we're possibly
Expanding out to the
going
mid-Atlantic
to
area. Yeah.
East Coast.
Orlando? Or-
No, mid-Atlantic.
Even for out of Florida.
East Coast of the United States. So
Okay. So you're going up north.
we'll see.
We are.
Yeah. So go on.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that pressure is kind of a community side of things. If you lose a game, not a big deal. If you're in a tournament setting, there's a lot more tense pressure, I would say. You don't want to disappoint your partner. You want to beat the guys across the net.
And your family who is watching you.
Your family might be watching you. Yes, correct.
I think competition brings out the best and worst of everybody, right? And 90% of the time, it's the best. We've seen that. We've seen people obviously get angry on the court, but most of the time, there's a camaraderie. There's a desire to win. There's a desire to kind of get to that next level to be competitive. From the mental side of it, I think when you see recreational play, it's casual, right? It's friendly. Oh, great shot. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, I can't believe I went for that. You're laughing, you're giggling, and all the things like that. When you're seeing competitive play, even at the 3-0 all the way to the professional level, depending on where you sit in ranks that skill level, there's the desire to win more. So I think, and I believe the mental side of the game is the players who do well mentally are the ones that aren't necessarily focused on results, but those are the ones focused on process, right? How do I hit my targets the right way? How do I keep my breathing in the right way to keep my heart rate at a normal function? Versus, oh my God, I can't believe I missed that shot. I stink. Oh, I'm negative energy, right? And you see that in different players. The most successful players from an observational standpoint that we've seen are the ones that keep it together, that the ones that are calm, cool, and collective, that focus on the first half of the next point, even though they might not have done well on the last half of the last point, right? As you always continue to focus on moving forward, staying positive, and focus on those targets. And that's kind of the recipe for success. And I think those draw parallels to a lot of other sports.
I agree with you. Do you think some people actually come to play tournaments like yours to actually learn how to deal with the negative side of themselves, like dark side, kind of deal with dark side? I think I did it partially,
Really?
Wow. Because when we started playing with my partner and him, Tim, and we played many sanctioned tournaments, and when we first started, we actually won our first tournament like right away was the 3.5.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, but
That's
look,
fantastic. Got to
look,
start somewhere.
yeah, it was and we felt so confident. And the next time we decided to go to 4-0 tournament. And the next tournament we decided to take in West Coast in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So we're like, yeah, let's just travel across the country to play 4-0, and if something goes wrong, we have a new city to explore.
Right.
So it ended up being the latter. We had a great excursion to the Grand Canyon.
Nice.
And yeah, we went 0-2 in the first 45 minutes.
Wow.
Gotcha.
And I think it kind of opened up the side of me that I have to learn how to deal with the tournament pressure and how to deal with my negative side, like the side that when I'm doing something and it doesn't work, how do I stay confident and positive with my partner and with myself? And I think that's one part of the reasons I kind of wanted to participate in your tournaments, because it's kind of, I would say 60% of the pressure I have in sanctioned tournaments. But still, it's very competitive, and I feel like I'm learning more about myself and playing with the different partners as well, like how I'm opening up myself during this, I would say it's like therapy session. Like every game is, I don't know, maybe it's too deep, but it's like a personal therapy session for me, because I don't know how would I react when the person, let's say, dink 5 times in the net.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if I dink 5 times in the net, how my partner will react. And do you think partially like what I described might apply to more people who are coming to your tournaments, who kind of test themselves and learn how to deal with the negative side of, dark side of themselves, sort of the sit.
Absolutely. We see it all the time. And one of the benefits of coming to our tournaments is you try to treat it like a round of golf. So you're not waiting 2-3 hours before your next match. You're kind of getting the flow of things going. You're kind of realizing where you are and where you stand. The competition level is fantastic where we are. Like you mentioned, all the different pros that we've had here. The pros come to practice a lot of times at our event with those new partners to get exposure to the positives and negatives to that. One of the things as well with our tournaments, and probably most tournaments, is that when you start to play at higher levels and challenge your skill set, you're being exposed to all the negatives and positives that your game brings to the table, right? So if I'm a 4-0 player, let's say, and I'm now trying to play in 4-5, they're better players normally, right? Until you've practiced all that. And those 4 or 5 players will expose a lot of your weaknesses that you have. How do you mentally stay in tune with that to maximize your opportunity, right? Majority of the points in pickleball are won by the other team making a mistake.
Yep.
Right?
Especially in the lower levels.
Especially in the lower levels. So one of the things we do and give advice to sometimes is, hey, listen, focus on what you can do. Continue to put the ball in play. Stay positive. And you never know. The other person may make a mistake too. So that part of the mental side of things is like, you don't always have to think you can go for a winner. Like I said, majority of the points are won by the other guy making a mistake or a girl making a mistake. So stay focused on that. Have a good experience with that. Stay positive with that. I think a big part of the game too is how well can you make your partner feel, right? How positive can you bring the environment together so you're having a great experience with your partner? You're not always going to have your best day.
Okay.
Majority of the time, you're not going to be perfect, right? I mean, if you're striving for perfection, it's never going to happen.
I see you speaking from experience.
Yeah, without a doubt, right? And we get frustrated, and we play with different partners, we played with whatever, and it's one of those things where you're not always going to have your best day, but how do you go out and try to deliver your best results based on what you can do? And if you stay positive and make your partner feel better, a lot of times your partner can instill that confidence in you. Like, hey, your serve's amazing. I know you missed the last 2 of them, but keep going for it because that's your game, right? That's where your strength is. And if we lose going down fighting, I'd rather do that than doing a nice puffy serve type of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's kind of that mindset that I think you need to bring to the table. I don't know if you want to be additive to that. I know you're laughing a lot about it.
I'm laughing because you don't want to call an out ball that your partner called in or vice versa. So it definitely does change the next couple points. So we've been there. So
probably, I mean, not focus that much at all on the calls. Like if it's out, it's fine. They called it out, or even if your partner called it out, it's okay. Just forget about it. Every point's worth the same, right?
Correct.
Interesting that you brought up how you can encourage your partner, and I noticed myself trying to do that, and I felt like I'm doing it so unnaturally. not organically, you know, like my partner makes like 3 dings in a row and I'm saying good job. And it doesn't sound like I'm trying to, you know, stay positive. It's more like I'm trying to I don't know, joke about it, but I don't actually mean it when you're in a competitive place. So I think that there's a, you know, there's a borderline like between staying positive but at the same time being organic.
Well, I mean, we've witnessed so many times how many players that are playing with each other on the court and someone misses a ball and they're rolling their eyes.
Just
like,
going,
oh my God,
just
hands
real
are up.
aggressive. It's just
And it's like, I can't
uncalled
believe you
for,
missed
really.
that type of thing. And you're like, hey, man, it's one shot. And it was actually the right opportunity, bad execution, things like that. But there's a lot of people that instantly blame their partner, or they'll come off the court, report their scores with us. And it's like whispers in our ears like, oh, my partner played the worst pickleball ever. I can't believe it. I'm like, guy, you have to understand, you win and lose as a team.
And you flag them.
Yeah, you know. But we joke around all the time. It's like the couple things you always know when you're playing pickleball is if you lose, you always, first thing you do is I want to blame your partner. That's a joke, right?
Yep.
But those are the things you have to laugh off and enjoy.
100%.
And then regroup and go out and listen. One of the things about our tournaments right now, we have double elimination tournaments. We're working on a triple elimination tournament this weekend. But if you lose your first match, you have the opportunity to come back and win the whole thing still. So it really depends on how you want to focus and stay positive with what you're able to do and bring forward to the table.
It's funny because, I feel like sometimes I'll also blaming my partner, but especially in the early stages when I just started playing pickleball and I thought, oh my God, I'm so perfect. My partner is so bad.
Yes.
And how can I play with somebody so bad and I'm being so perfect? And I don't know how unintentionally that just happens. Maybe you're unconsciously doesn't want you don't want to admit to yourself that you actually you're making mistakes too. Maybe it's hard for you to admit it, you know, especially when you come to to the tournament play and competitive play.
Yep, sure.
But I noticed that I'm being irritated the most when I'm frustrated about the decision making, not the actual execution. So let's say we're in transition zone and I see my partner executes the drive.
Right.
And that's, in most of the cases, that's not the right decision. So, and it doesn't go through. So I'm like, I'm not frustrated of execution. I'm frustrated of a decision. And how can okay, this is a very difficult question, obviously for everybody. So basically, as I'm saying, I'm frustrated about wrong decision making and not about execution.
Right.
How can I encourage my partner to make the right decisions, basically, right? How can we regroup so we can just play calmly and make the decision, play your game, instead of going for some desperate shots? You know, I've seen a lot of people when the score is, I don't know, 11-9, 11-10. 11-9 is impossible unless it's game to 15. But when it's the match point, people going for some shots they never executed in their life.
In their life, right?
In
Exactly.
their life. Yes. It's like,
Except dreamed about it, right?
I don't know. It's like
ESPN highlight reel type of thing.
exactly tweener ATP from the baseline, whatever.
On the other court.
Backhand.
On the other court.
And what's going on in the people's mind when you know the pressure builds up?
There
and
is
they're-
definitely some pressure.
and they're going for some shots they never practice. You never practice those shots, right?
So true.
And how do you kind of remain calm to make sure that decision process kind of is not affected by your mind or your partner's mind?
That's $1 million question,
Yeah,
right? And
100%.
that's a really tough one. And you have to trust your partner that they're going to do the right things, and your partner has to trust you that you're going to do the right thing. I mean, again, it goes back to understanding the strengths and weaknesses of your partner. Someone may have a great serve, someone may have a great drive, someone may not be good on one side versus the other. Where are those strengths and weaknesses, and how do you protect those areas? But not getting mad at them if they lose it. You mentioned going for the wrong shots. There is a lot of that, right?
Guilty.
But you know, I growing up in the tennis world, and especially with my kids playing tennis, I always try to give advice like great execution or great opportunity. You created yourself a great opportunity, but you just didn't execute it, which that's okay. Going back to what you said though earlier, is like, hey, I'm going for the wrong opportunity. And I got to put myself back in my mental state, right? I got to start hitting my targets. I can't go for, 2 drives in a row, 3 drives in a row, which shouldn't do at a high level, right? What are the simple things that you can get back to basics to start focusing on hitting maybe bigger targets instead of micro targets, right? Some of those things that you're going back to the basics on how you were successful to get there. And staying calm, breathing a lot, Breathing exercises are huge. I can't tell you how enough they give you breathing exercises, especially if you're dealing with hot weather in Florida. Taking your time, going to the towel, taking a break for 20 seconds, then getting back in the point. Taking your time when you serve and breathe. Same thing. Get yourself set when you return balls. There are a lot of little, like smaller things you can do to mentally prepare to really stay focused. Like I said, everyone's making mistakes, right? Majority of the points are lost by someone's making a mistake. If you focus on that last half of the point you just lost, instead of focusing on how you can win the next point, you're gonna have a harder time, right? And then, at the same time, support your partner. Hey, you went for a ball. Don't worry about it. Let's go. I mean, that's, let's focus on our strengths, right? It's that cross court, drive versus down the line drive, or, what, your serve's been killing it. Let's keep going, down the tee or whatever it is. Focus on those little things to make sure your partner's feeling confident, because once your partner feels confident, they're going to reciprocate that and make you feel more confident. And I think the results end up being better.
It's a very interesting observation, especially, you mentioned that you are guys moving to triple elimination format, and I'm going to mention it in the next question, just to conclude on this conversation. I think I generally agree with you, but I think sometimes you can also notice that the opposite team can see your downtrend in your mentality, and when you're doing some desperate things, and that's where the targeting comes into the place, right? And they see the weaker player who are affected more, and they started targeting him even more. Like, I would say court bullying. I don't know if you can call it that way, but you see your partner is being bullied because he got himself into this situation, and probably just simply switching sides, taking time out is not enough. How do you kind of remain calm? How do you help your partner to get out of this hole that he dig for himself? And it's the hole for both, right? Obviously, if he's being targeted and he knows it doesn't work, he's going for desperate decisions, or he can't execute some simple dinks or drop shots or resets,
right?
On any other level. And I noticed myself too. I was being targeted, and I felt bullied, and I felt I feel like I'm weak right now. I feel weak at the moment, and I feel like, I can't do anything about it, and I don't know what to do to regroup. And my partner doesn't help. He's like just watching me being killed.
Right.
Does the partner cover the court a little bit more than normal to
90%,
kind of regroup?
Ben John sub. I'll take Ben. Again, I think it goes back to confidence, right? If you're missing simple shots, is because your confidence is down really low, right? I mean, your skill set when you're playing at whatever level you're at should be equal to the other side of the court. If you're missing simple dinks, it's probably because you're tight. You're thinking about, oh my God, I can't make a mistake here, or my partner's going to be mad at me, or I can't make a mistake here, or we'll lose the match, right? It goes back to you're focusing more on results than process. And my suggestion always is, again, breathe, move your feet a lot more. The more you move your feet and shuffle around, the more you breathe more consistently, the more relaxed you're going to be. It gets your adrenaline going in a controlled manner. That's a very good way to kind of offset that bullying mentality that, hey, I know I'm going to be targeted, right? I'm not playing my best pickleball right now. I know they're going to come after me. But now I'm mentally prepared for that. I'm moving my feet more. I'm breathing better. My hands are ready. I'm focusing on the small little things that are going to get me to the finish line, right? My hands have to be in front. My feet are on my toes, right? The things that are going to get there. I'm going to hit certain targets more effectively than I did. I don't need to go for that big, outside wide dink. I'm going to keep the ball a little bit more centralized.
Yep.
All those things like that can try to get you back into switching the gears of the momentum to go back. Because it's almost like blackjacking on a casino. When you're losing hands after hand after hand, you're not spending more money and tripling down and quadrupling down on your bet, right? You're pulling back a little bit to break back down to neutral. Pickleball is a momentum shift too. All sports are. How do you make that momentum shift? And you have to do it in a very slow, kind of concise manner. You can't expect it to shift all at once. You might get lucky and have a shot that may kind of get the adrenaline pumping and a momentum shift on one shot. Unlikely. But I think if you focus on hitting the right targets and going for less margin, or going for larger margin rather, then you're going to be more successful. And that momentum shift can then potentially come back your way.
There's a danger, I think, of being over-focused a little bit. Because if I focus too much on my breathing or my feet or having the paddle always in front of me, I feel like I'm ready. What comes next? Okay, I'm bullying me, please.
Yeah, but I think it's that compromise of knowing that those are the things you have to kind of turn your back to the court and kind of regroup that way. Take a breath. You know, you see tennis players do that all the time. They go to the towel, they take a deep breath, they move their strings on their racket, they shuffle their feet around, they bounce up and down. Those are all things that they do. Djokovic bounces the ball 50 times on the court until he hits the spot on the court twice. There's things that you can do that are kind of ways to bring that focus back.
Yes.
And then the goal is just to be yourself and hit, because you need to stay loose. Right? If you're driving the ball, your hands have to stay loose. If you're dinking the ball, you have to be comfortable with that. And if you start getting super tight, that's when you're going to hit the ball short, or it's not going to hit your targets the right way. So I think that's kind of where I was going with it. Totally agree. You don't want to spend 99% of your time focusing on all the mistakes you're doing and all the things like that. But those are just the tools in the toolbox that you have in order to say, hey, listen, I need to regroup here for a half a second. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to relax. I'm going to, take a couple extra swings behind the baseline for a second, and then I'm going to go forward, and then let's rock and roll.
I think Djokovic might be one of the best examples in the, not just in tennis, but in the human era.
Absolutely.
Of being.
He's one of your favorite players, right?
I'm a Nadal and Federer fan, but I have a ton of respect for Djokovic. Don't get me wrong. He's so well balanced. He's so focused, like Nadal's been, and Federer.
They know how to come back. They know how to come back in the game.
They focus on the next point. They are absolutely triggered in. It's unbelievable.
So it's interesting about focusing on breathing. Like, it's like one of those things, like don't think about blinking, and you usually don't think about it, but now I told you and you're thinking about it. Or don't think about your next breath, and now you're counting your each breath. So maybe, kind of paying attention to the details that you naturally don't pay attention to might help you to distract yourself. And like, how am I positioning my feet? Like, how do I feel them? And it's interesting, but yeah, we definitely can talk about it more. One more thing I wanted to bring up is I think it's also about perspective. Like, if you hit it in the net, it's a bad shot for you. Is it a bad shot for you if you're my opponent? No, it's not a bad shot. It's a good shot, right? So my bad shot is your good shot. What about the referee? Does she think it's a bad shot? I think for referee, it's going to be more of a neutral shot. She doesn't care. Okay, it's shot in the net. And I think you need to be able to put yourself into someone else, into someone else's perspective, and kind of detach yourself.
Step outside yourself for a minute.
Yeah. Just don't think about, it's a bad shot. Yeah, maybe for you, for someone else it doesn't. Anyway, I want to move to the next topic. And I want to move to also about mentality and about your tournament and league. You mentioned briefly that you are moving to triple elimination format. First of all, I wanted to mention that I played a lot of tournaments, non-sanctioned, sanctioned. If we talk about sanctioned tournaments, you obviously expected to spend more money. Most likely you're going to spend more money for traveling because most likely they are not 20 minutes away from your house.
Correct.
And I think APP does a really good job with amateur play right now, especially. They are doing the round robin for most of the brackets. They're limiting the number of teams in one bracket. So yeah, you I think you have a kind of 4 or 5 games at least. And I think this round robin kind of relieves some of this pressure from the players, because there's always another game. Maybe, fear of failure or fear of not having enough games is something that kind of slows you down, especially in the tournament days. With PPA, it's a little bit tougher. I think with PPA, it's double elimination. Even sometimes if there is a weather or anything else, or too many people, they can even move to single elimination. You are moving to unprecedented format, which is triple elimination. Is it probably part of the goal to relieve pressure for some people, and I'm just curious to learn about this triple elimination a little bit more. Like, if you can come back from being down to triple to the third constellation bracket and go back to the final, or like what's pros and cons compared to round robin maybe. And what's just the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, we had a little bit of debate on doing a round robin format or a triple elimination format, opposed to our double elimination that we normally do. Triple elimination was kind of geared for maybe the player that has been to our tournaments a couple times and has been 2 and out multiple times, and they're possibly apprehensive to.
That's the players. This is for you. This is exactly why we're here.
Basically to they're on the fence of signing up again because they're 2 and out and they're done in 45 minutes to an hour, and then they have those challenges all day long, all weekend long, that they have to deal with at home. Kind of thinking about it, So the triple elimination is kind of the people that are on the fence of possibly signing up or not would be 1. 2, to possibly get the mental aspect under control in the first round. And if you do lose, you have a couple more rounds to go. The round robin format is all right. Usually it's only 1 game to 15 for a match. Whereas you have the opportunity in the winner's bracket for the triple elimination to be 2 out of 3. And then you would go down to the game to 15, each individual level after that. I think it's just something that's different. It's not the normal standard round robin or double elimination. And we had the opportunity to try it out. And we have a good response from what we have basically advertised the triple elimination, but we'll find out how it flows. You can come back from the second loser's bracket and win.
You cannot.
You can.
You can. Wow,
Yeah.
that's going to be a hell of a
So
comeback.
to add to what Dwayne's saying, I think the goal for PaddleTap as a whole is to increase participation for the sport, right, and
Yes.
make the experience a good one for all players.
Grow the community.
And it's for the community, right? So if someone's new to a pickleball tournament and they're spending X amount of dollars to join it, and let's say it's their first one and they're coming in, they lose 2 and out, and their experience is not the best not because they didn't have a good time, it's because they thought they were better than they were. They maybe joined the wrong divisions, they were self-rated, a variety of different things can come into play. They're 2 and out and they may not want to come back, not because of PaddleTap, but just because, I'm not ready for the competitive space yet. Round robins, I do think, answer a part of that, where you are able to play multiple matches depending on how the format's done, where you can play a playoff round. The triple elimination is something new. We're constantly evolving our tournaments to be different. Because we're running tournaments every 2 to 3 weeks, we don't want to be stagnant in doing the same format all the time. I think it's important to stay relevant and challenge yourself to do new things, to find out what the players and the consumers want.
Yes.
It's neat. It may work, it may not, but I think we're the ones that are first out to the market to do that. And I think that's something we'll give it a try. And if we see that participation's better, there's a variety of different ways to host tournaments, right? You can do a compass draw, you can do double elimination, single elimination, round robin format. All of it's different, and I think it also depends on how many people are joining each division too, because you need some fluctuation and some opportunity to change it just in case. But for us to stay relevant and to try new things in the pickleball space, especially in the South Florida area where there's a ton of players, let's continue to stay relevant.
It's a very interesting approach. The triple elimination, I think, definitely very, very unconventional. And I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you tried something similar in the past where, however, the third bracket actually kind of allows you to play for fun mostly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you drop down to the third, but you cannot come back.
Yeah, in a lot of our tournaments, what we'll do is make it up, for instance, 8-person draw, 8-person bracket.
Yep.
And the 2 teams that are out at the 2 and out, right? Is there an opportunity for them to play more pickleball for fun? We'll do that. We'll always say, hey, if we have the courts, we're more than happy to put you on as many times as you want to until we need those courts back for the next, division or next round. Because we want our players to get as much pickleball in as they can for what they pay. I think a lot of other tournaments are like, oh, thank you, see you later, bye. You're done, one and done, and you paid $150, $200 to be in the,
Yes.
the pro division, and you're in qualifiers. You pay one match, and it was supposed to be 2 out of 3, but now rain happened and you're now 1 game to 15, and I spent all that money, all that traveling to play 1 match to 15 for $200 and some dollars. That wouldn't be me personally. I think for us, it's more that, hey, how's that balance between, hey, I paid X amount of dollars. I think goes depending mostly around $70 for an entry fee. I want to pay $70. I want to get some amazing competition. I want to play as much pickleball as I possibly can and really enjoy it, right? We provide some good tunes. We have some good atmosphere. People are always saying, I can't believe you guys don't have any wait time here. It's not like any of the other tournaments where I'm waiting 3-4 hours between between my next match. The joke that we have all the time is, hey, do I have time to go to the bathroom? I'm like, okay, but you got to hurry up, right? You're on the court in 2 minutes.
1 or 2.
Yeah, right. So we laugh all the time about it. So the flow of our tournaments, sans any weather issues, we're ready to rock and roll, and the experience is great. So we're going to give triple elimination a try. We'll see how successful it is this weekend. I think there's a lot of positives to it. I think the only hiccup they may have is timing, because you're going to have to wait a couple minutes to get into the back draw, and then the main draw folks will have to wait till the back draws are finished. But that's normal, right? That's normal pickleball play anyway. So like I said, we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. But again, it's going to be more of the feedback of the players to find out if they enjoy it. And if they do, we'll consider doing it in the future.
Well, there's definitely going to be a team that comes back from 0-2 to 0-3. And I think that's going to be the unhappiest team.
Yeah. We laugh all the time that there's at the end of the day when we're looking to go home and wrap it up at like 8:30 match.
Yeah.
The people who won the back draw are playing the main draw, and they have to beat him twice, right? Every time that he and I are itching to get home just because it's been a long day, the person who wins the back draw always beats him 2 out of 3 and has to play him another game to 15, and it's the longest match of the tournament. Yeah. This is at the end of the day.
It's always fun to watch, but
it's
it's funny.
That's what we do.
How it happens every time.
That's what we do.
So just to clarify, so the main bracket is going to be 2 out of 3.
Correct.
To 11.
Best 2 out of 3 games to 11 win by 1.
Correct.
Yep.
The first elimination, first cancellation, let's call it first cancellation bracket, is going to be best.
It's going to be one game.
One game to 15.
We are probably going to do 1 game to 15. Yeah.
On both of them.
And the third bracket, therefore the second cancellation bracket, is going to be also 1 game to 15.
Right now, that's what
we're planning.
Okay.
On, yeah.
So walk me through, how can I come back to the final? I assuming it's going to be, I mean, by the system, technically I can make as much cancellation brackets as I want. I can make it 4 or 5th. So I'm eliminated in the first game, go back to the second bracket, eliminated in the second game, go back to the third, and then I can fight my way back to the final of the cancellation bracket, which is basically we can treat the second cancellation bracket as a winner bracket.
Correct.
And you go back, and then you go back again.
Correct.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I would be curious to see if there's anyone during this weekend who will actually come back and win.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're looking forward to it, just to find out what the response is. And again, one of the benefits of joining a PaddleTap pickleball tournament is that you can sign up at the 11th hour. I mean, I get a call from Anna Bright sometimes at 10 o'clock on Friday, can I play on Saturday, right? Can I do this? Or, we got a call today. I have plans. I work as first responder. Not sure if I'm working on call tomorrow. Is there a way I can potentially get it on the list for Saturday or Sunday rather? Yeah, no problem. We can make it work.
We're flexible.
So you're just showing me the triple elimination. I'm happy to share it with you. This is how the triple elimination bracket works. As you mentioned, you can make a screenshot and we can insert it. Yeah, it's a very interesting format. I think it's a good example of how maybe more facilities or tournament can eliminate. I don't know what to eliminate. How
increase participation.
Yes, increase participation, and that's, I think, a very good idea. And I think this is a good chance for you. If you want to say something to your camera about your upcoming tournaments and your location, feel free to,
No, I appreciate it. I mean, you want to chat about that?
Well, we have a tournament, obviously, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday in Coral Springs. We have another one that's going to be in a facility down at the Sawgrass Mills Mall, Epic Athletics Club. And
indoor facility there.
Indoor, 10 courts. They also have a nice paddle as well. But we'll be there as well. And I'm not sure if we're going to do the double elimination or the triple elimination. Stay tuned on that. It all depends on really how the weekend goes that we're doing this
And we're
weekend.
probably one of the only tournaments outside of APP and PPA that provide prize money for singles, right? We have a couple of singles players playing this weekend that have, duper ratings in the mid sixes, to give you an idea of the level that's coming into the singles matches this weekend. So we're excited for that. Gives players an opportunity to practice some of that high level competition prior to maybe one of their APP or PPA tournaments that they're playing. So
Is that Jack?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
How do you what's the bracket level for singles mostly? 4-5 plus, right?
we have them all. So it depends on which tournament. Again, we vary the divisions out depending on, sometimes we'll do age brackets, sometimes we'll do different things. That regards depends on the location. It depends on a couple factors, depending on the number of courts that play a role in that. But singles traditionally anywhere from 3-0, 3-5. Sometimes those are combined. 4-0, 4-5 plus level. We call it 4-5 plus. I think the one we have at Epic in
5-0.
March is 5-0 plus.
Yep.
I don't know if that's going to bring in more people because it's a 5-0 designation versus 4-5 plus. I think we pretty much get the same players. There's some high level competitive pro players and or college tennis players.
So if I'm Anna Bright or Tyra Harkin Blake, can I just sign up for singles?
Yeah, we have actually, it's non-gender, so for singles.
Oh,
So we have a lot of times we have the females that'll play into the men's division, or not men's, but just singles divisions. They actually do pretty well.
Never seen so many grown men cry.
Yeah.
really?
Oh yeah, there's a couple young girls that are coming up that are tennis folks that I knew from my days at the Everett Academy. And she's grown to be a great player. And she was beating up on some of these guys, and they all looked at her like she's this like tiny girl and she's young or whatever. And all of a sudden, turn around and she's crushing the ball. And they were kind of like shocked. So you're seeing that younger generation starting to come through.
Yep.
In our tournaments as well. We sponsor one of them with Kaylin Campbell, so we're excited for her success. No, it's a great opportunity for any player that wants to play. Again, we're flexible with our tournaments. I mean,
You can still sign up right now.
you can sign up right
less than
now
12
for
hours away.
So, I'll give you an example. We have two ladies that want to play, and let's say a division sold out. They can't play in the ladies 4-0. You want to play mixed together? We'll play mixed together. Two ladies in mixed. The only thing we don't allow is two guys playing in a girls division or two guys playing in the mixed division. But if two women want to play in a mixed, two ladies want to play in men's, the example with that would be Paris Todd play with Anna Bright in the men's 5.0. They wanted to practice. It was a great opportunity for them to play some high-level players. It's super fun to watch. Amazing competition.
Yep.
But that's the kind of flexibility we have. It also gives those PPA and APP players an opportunity to practice with new partners.
Absolutely.
Right? And feel it out to find out what their chemistry is like in a competitive setting.
Sure.
And those players, like the ones we mentioned earlier, come to our tournaments for that reason. Like, oh, my partner's hurt or they're traveling. I'm going to play with so-and-so. So that's definitely been a positive for us. And they know that they're going to be guaranteed some amazing competition because the pool of people that we have access to that are in our tournaments on a consistent basis are there. So they buzz Dwayne up and say, hey, listen, any opportunity to play on Saturday, any opportunity to play in this way. Not only is prize money involved, but there's amazing competition. It's accessible, and it's a lot more affordable than a lot of the other stuff that's around.
Yeah, makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
And I also think, I believe I saw it, probably Anna Bright or one of those big names in pickleball played the 5-0 with the left hand, or the opposite of their hand.
That would be
James
James
Ignatowicz,
Yeah.
and played actually against Anna.
Okay.
But he wanted to play lefty for practicing because I don't know if he was hurt or he just wanted to practice.
Does have a two-handed backhand, so
Yeah, there was some battling going on there for sure for a while. There were some very humorous moments in there where Anna was lobbing him a lot and he still had to try to do an overhead lefty,
Yeah.
which is a little bit difficult, but they had a good time and it was super fun to watch again. And those types of people draw in nice crowds for us too, right? And I think that's another reason why that our tournaments are successful. Because we bring in some of the bigger names that are out there. You have access to see those folks, learn from those folks,
Lose to them.
lose to those folks. A lot of people want to just
Opportunity.
pay. A lot of people want to play 5-0 who are not quite the 5-0 level,
Like me.
because they want to have the opportunity to play against some of the bigger names that are out there, and it's great for them too.
Yeah, I agree. I think I wish I had a chance to play with somebody like Anna or Tyra or James or
Yeah.
JW or Georgia and other people. Actually, it's funny. I played against Anna, but before, when she became a big name in pickleball, and yeah, and before you scouted her
Yeah, I know.
as a future star.
Yeah.
So
No, we have a good rapport with all those folks, right? And I think
Sure.
there's a lot of great personalities in there. We're really friendly with all of them.
absolutely.
And they're very supportive of our tournaments and our business as best they can. And we appreciate all the support they've been giving us.
100%.
Do you think this lefty kind of tryout from James might be part of some mental strengthening as well? Like, because you're doing something that's probably unconventional for you, and you trying to, I don't know, maybe strengthen your mental aspects of the game, doing something really so different.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could also be James just wanted to play, and
Yep.
it's kind of a bargaining chip to let him be able to play
Yeah.
in the tournament, because
I-
he is an unbelievable player. So
Okay, it's decided then. If next tournament I'm playing 3-0 lefty.
that's
Triple elimination now.
Triple elimination. Yeah. So yeah, a little bit shout out to you. So PaddleTap, pickleball.com. The guys doing amazing tournaments all over the South Florida.
Appreciate it.
Great facilities, great atmosphere, great people, and great players. And we're just gonna continue this conversation.
Part two.
Part
Part two.
probably part two. Yeah, probably part two.